So here we are, day 4 of our storybook card. Yesterday we were in Design Space and made our card backing. We copied some things over. We added backgrounds and score lines and did a lot of print then cut. So now we are ready to put everything together. So I have pre-cut a lot of stuff here. I'll just move my pens out of the way. And this was a sample that we put together on orange. I cut it out of a gray over here. So this is a sample of what we're going to put together today. It looks really good, and this is what we had done on day 2. So we're going to have a couple of cards ready for our storybook card, and we've got 2 more to go. Let me move those out of the way. Let's take a look at all the pieces. Okay, so we have our Thalia with the turkey. And my 1/2 inch, I had a scrap piece of paper, so I'm just going to click on that. So that is going to be a nice smooth cut for this one. I decided to try it on a different background, but I definitely like it on white versus having it on a different color stock. So I'm going to be using my white one here. And then we have the kitchen we cut out. And of course the last 2 pieces are our stand pieces. And the reason we have 2, that this is a fairly wide turkey, so we want to have 2 pieces here to make sure that it stands up the way we want it to stand up. All right, we're ready to get some gluing done here. So first thing, of course, we want to put our kitchen in place. Now I'm going to hold it up here, and if I close the card, it's a matter of where in the kitchen do I want to have the background. Well, I'm thinking maybe I want to put it at the bottom, and then I can write a greeting at the top. If I put it at the top, up here, actually it gives more visual appeal by just having it here. So I'm going to glue this one to the top. That's going to be my first thing. So I have my Barely Art glue. I better take it off the card. Just put a little bit of glue along the edges. I don't need a lot of glue. I know the white on white's a little tough to see. Okay, so let's grab our card. Get this off the table without gluing myself. Now the big point is you want to match it up in one corner. So I'm just going to hold my 2 fingers in place, and that will match up absolutely perfectly. So that's the first step, and of course I'm going to use my scraper tool to make sure it is in place. Now there's a little trick to doing this, and we worked a little bit on it yesterday. I just want to make sure my score lines are really tight. Give them a nice crisp fold. Perfect. Now I have to decide here, how tall do I want to have this? So if I put this little piece back here, whoop, that's upside down. Now come across here. I'm going to do it a little differently this time. I'm going to bury it down. I just want to know where I want to have it. Okay, I just want to use my pencil here. The reason I'm doing it this way is I just want to make a little pencil mark here about where I want to glue this piece down on the bottom, and that's just going to give me a little edge. So let's start by adding a little glue here, and I'm just going to place it down towards the bottom here. Now I have a little hole cut out here, and those are intentional. So there's the first one. I'm going to do the same with the second one. to be perfectly parallel, but pretty close. There we go. I want to have them straight though. All right, we have our first part down. Now I'm not going to glue these down right away. I just want to check and make sure if we glue them there, everything's going to fold the way we want it. I'm going to put her back down here. Okay, looks pretty good. So now I'm going to add my glue on this little piece that we had at the bottom. I'm going to line it up with this. Just move it over a bit. Basically, I'm coming out 1/2 inch from this fold mark here. Now I'm just going to fold it back. Give it a little encouragement to stick. Now the next part is we want to make sure that when we fold this down that it's going to come up properly. And we don't want it too high, so if I push them here, sorry, getting my fingers in there. We basically want it to pop up right about the bottom of the kitchen. I don't know if you can see that, but we're aligning it to the bottom of the kitchen. So let me just add a little glue to this tab and to this one. I want to line it up to the bottom of the kitchen. That takes a little bit. Once you get the first one in, I've got my little fingers in there. Now there are many ways that you can glue these things together, but I like to get my fingers in there. I like to line it up by sight. I'm gonna make sure we're lined up as much as possible, and I've got my fingers in there, and I'm gonna lie it flat. Just got to check and make sure it comes up, and it does. Now sometimes it'll give an extra fold, and that's okay as well. So now we have this part already, and I'm going to add our little greeting here next. So let's just get this all ready. Now you'll notice I'm eyeballing a lot of this stuff, so get my fingers out of the way. If you want it precise, you can measure it. Now I can put this up the top and still have room for writing at the bottom, or I can put it at the bottom and have room for writing at the top. I'm going to keep mine at the top, and I think I'll just slide it over a bit, kind of center it. So I have even spaces here. All right, one last little smush to make sure everything is correct. Hey, that looks really cute. So we now have our Thanksgiving. This is the second card in the package. And this is our first card, is the one we did for Halloween. And we know that we're going to be putting these together. So we have card 1, card 2. And tomorrow we're going to look at card number 3.